Hey, what's up? We are back. I'm Xming, the moderator today. This is the second episode of Nice to Meet You. Have you listened to our first episode? Remember to share it to your friends. We have invited two persons today. They are from different educational systems in Malaysia, which is SMK, Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan, and Chinese independent schools. Maybe some of you guys heard about them before in the introductions episodes of our open podcast. What an interesting topics. Let's check it out together.
Good evening, my friend. From what in my mind is, I think you born in 2003, same with me lah. So, and willing to join this conversation as, like uh, very easy solution is because you as a opinion from SMK. So, I guess that you study in KL because we all study in KL. So I think you also study in KL, and due to some education issue because Chinese independent school is using UEC. It's not same with others, so you didn't go to Chinese independent school lah. This is my guessing lah only. Okay.
Well, uh, I think that's a bit correct. I was actually born in 2005, so I think I'm younger than everyone here.
Oh.
That makes me 16, turning 17 this year.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you are preparing SPM this year, isn't it?
No, actually, because of COVID, they messed up our whole thing, our whole system schedule. So I'm having SPM next year in March. So right now it's actually our first semester.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So I'm joining this conversation as a student from a SMK school. I think it's also called a national school. And I'm sitting in Shah Alam actually. So I think it's a bit close to Kuala Lumpur, but I'm sitting in Shah Alam in SMK Bukit Jelutong. For the reason that I live in an area that has our own specific SMK school. I live in Bukit Jelutong, so I go to SMK Bukit Jelutong. It's very close, very nearby, so it's a lot easier to go to the school. So that's why I didn't go to an SM Chinese school or Chinese independent high school.
Oh.
So I would assume that you were born in 2003 and you're joining this conversation as a student that went to a Chinese independent school. You studied in, I think, Xming's school as well. I don't remember what school. I don't think he ever told me what school, but I'm just going to guess Quincheng High School. And due to, I guess, family or how close you were to the school, you went to a Chinese independent high school.
Almost correct. Yeah, it's all correct. Sorry. Because I go Chinese independent school is because my family. They more like to push me go to Chinese independent school, and because my Chinese is better than others lah. So this is also one of the reason that I go to Chinese independent school. I'm studying in SJK, also a Chinese school lah. Chinese school. So my teachers, my family, they support me to go to Chinese independent school. It's better than SMK lah. They say okay. So Quincheng High School is not my answer that I want to go lah. It's because my father and mother they say Quincheng is better, so I go Quincheng. So it's based on their decision lah. It's not mine lah.
Okay, so we have a not sister school, but beside the SMK, we have an SK, which is quite a good school.
Yeah.
It's a Sekolah Berprestasi Tinggi. So same name, Sekolah Kebangsaan Bukit Jelutong. I basically lived there like half of my life. So yeah, I studied there for a while, and then I took UPSR there, and now I'm in SMK Bukit Jelutong. To be honest with you, I don't really know what impression you would have of an SMK student. I guess the general perception of an SMK student is that they're more open, I guess, or they get more exposed to other races, other people, other backgrounds, because you have a lot of different races in national schools usually, and you expect me to be. Honestly, I have no idea what you expect me to be. I don't think there's a very big stereotype for SMK students, in my opinion. So I'm not really sure what you would expect of an SMK student, but maybe we would be raised in a less strict environment, I would say, or the environment in an SMK school is a lot less regulated and a lot less strict because um, I believe that you might think that in SMK schools, the teachers are a lot less strict and they basically have less regulation and rules on the students law. Or when they do have rules, they don't really enforce the rules that much. Yeah, that's my impression. What's my guess on what your impression would be? Sorry.
Mm. I think it's also correct lah because my father and his mother they think SMK is like yeah you know lah you just now just saying about like the rules is not too strict something like that lah yeah other this is a stereotype because I think this is based on the school. Some school they will follow the rules, they will control their students, but some no. Yeah, I know. My first impression of you is like I think no because I'm not a type of people that will think that when you are study then you will be what kind of people. I think most of the people they got their own type lah or own pattern lah, something like that lah. So like you cannot expect that all the bad student is in SMK or the good student is in Chinese independent school. So I cannot expected everything when I meet you. Yeah. So after I discuss with you and talking with you, then I can feel that what kind of people that you are. Yeah. So this is my thinking lah. So moreover, I was expecting you will be to be like the Chinese is independent school students are very smart or something like that. I'm not sure lah, but most of the parents, most of the people they think, UEC student or you are very smart lah, I think. Or then another side lah is you haven't heard about Chinese independent school because most of my Malay friends they haven't heard about the UEC. Yeah, so I'm not sure lah.
Okay, I would say I think that is correct somewhat. Similar to me, I don't really like to make impressions of people before I get to know them. So I like to talk to them first, get to know them, meet them maybe 2 or 3 times, and then make an impression of them. So yeah, that's what I think. Actually, I would say that for my friends that go to Chinese independent schools or SJKs, they tend to speak quite a lot of languages because I have this Indian friend at my school. I'm very close to her, and she speaks 4 languages: Malay, English, Tamil, and Chinese. So 4 languages.
Oh.
So yeah, I think going to that kind of school, either an SJK or just a national type school, you get more exposure, you get to learn more languages, and I guess that helps out with meeting new people, I suppose, or learning more languages. So yeah, that's what I think. About the UEC and master students, I think it depends on the student themselves, right? Because sometimes you might go to a good school, but you might not have the best study habits, and you might not revise in your studies, and you might be a nakal or not very nice student. So
Yeah.
it depends on the student, I think.
Yeah, but you know lah, the most of the parents they think that the things are same one, the student is bad lah. You graduate from SMK you cannot lah, something like that. But it's in Chinese lah. I don't know the other race is what. Their minds is what. I'm not sure because I'm lah in Chinese independent school I like very like to meet them. Yeah.
You know what, right? I think for usually the parents, the Malay parents, this is my perspective, they tend to think that the Chinese independent schools they shelter the Chinese children, so they stick in their own quote unquote like race law. Like there's no like what do you call it, like interaction amongst different races. So it's only one race. So there's that conception around, I guess, Malay parents or parents that don't send their kids to Chinese SJKs or independent schools.
Yeah. So to see the situation lah. But I think now already changed a little bit like this situation or this stereotype already changed lah because of the social media or something like YouTube or Facebook. You can see many type of people, many type of their opinions. Yeah, already changed lah. Okay. So the first, I think SMK's for positive ways is I think you guys lah can speak English, Malay very well because just not this day because the environment and have different races of friends. So you can communicate with different type of languages or Malaysia style lah, bahasa rojak, something like that lah. So I think it's more fluently with communicated with others, something like that lah. So I think this is the positive way. And another positive way is I think you guys you can choose you choose the subject that's which is more suitable for you guys, isn't it? So before you no, no, I'm not sure because my friends in SMK lah, they can choose oh, I don't like physics, so I don't take the physics class. I go to change to account or math, something like that. So I think this is also a positive points lah. Yeah, so this two and negative points is just not just say about the rules in SMK is not too strict. Yeah. So sometimes I heard some news or something says about the SMK gangsterism or bullying issue happens. And next is about the education level lah. Because I think SPM and STPM got a huge gap between these two exam or their courses is got a huge gap lah. So sometimes you can oh, my SPM's result is good, but STPM is not good. Something I will feel like that lah.
Yeah, actually, I fully agree with that one. Actually, I didn't know that in Chinese independent schools, you couldn't choose your subjects. I did not know that actually. So that's something new. But yeah, about the changing the subjects, then I guess I wouldn't say changing, but you can drop your subject. So a lot of people in SMKs, they actually drop AdMaths because AdMaths can be quite difficult to some people, so they drop the subject. But they can also take more subjects if they want to. Like we have a lot of choices on subjects we want to take. They're electives basically. I think you can take up to 10 or 12 subjects. I don't remember. I think 10, 11 or 12. But some people, they can take German, they can take Korean, they can take English literature, they can take Malay literature, they can take Bahasa Cina also if you want to do that. You can take a few subjects. I think there's a lot of the Islamic centered subjects as well. So you can take a lot of subjects and you can also drop subjects. So you can, I guess there is that choice there. But what the government wanted to do before is they wanted to allow students to take any subjects they wanted based on their own choice. And it wouldn't be like a package deal because right now you have the streams. You have the art stream with econs, architecture, and you have the science streams with physics, bio, and chemistry. So you have to take the packages. Because of COVID, they couldn't really do the thing where you could choose the subjects you wanted to take. So that's an issue. But I think hopefully this will be better in the future. And about the gangsterism in schools, I fully agree actually. But that also depends on the environment, I think, because sometimes some schools they have more a better environment where the students they respect each other and they are nice to each other. And the school is more about studying and tolerance rather than people just walking and disobeying the rules. Like even for me, I don't like to follow rules. Like at my school, I'm not a prefect, but I'm there to look at watch people, and sometimes I can do the complaints if I want to, because in my school there's a system for complaints. So yeah, that is also a good thing. I think it depends on the school also, but yeah, I agree. Sometimes rules may not be the best thing, because I think if I was in a Chinese independent school and there were so many rules, I would probably transfer schools. I don't like rules that much, but yeah.
Yeah, but I think the good thing is the system of complaining. So you can complain something that you don't want, or the thing is not suitable for us, like something the teachers or like their minds lah, we think that this is more better for you guys. But this is not suitable for me, something like that lah.
Um, I would say that in SMK schools, um, the teachers that there tends to be a lack of teachers. So sometimes there may not be a lot of teachers that can teach the subjects that they want to teach. So sometimes a physics teacher will be forced to teach art maths, and sometimes an art maths teacher will be forced to teach something like chemistry, and they might not have the specialty in those subjects. So it ends up that the students, they don't learn with the best teacher, and the teacher kind of teaches that well. So that's a big issue. Yeah, that is quite a big issue as well. And I'm not sure if you've heard, but the movements where you have to stop the period spot checks, and I think you heard of this one, long, the hashtag stop period check, something like that. Um, that is one of the bigger issues in SMK schools. No, I don't think SMK schools only, but all schools, I think, and sexual harassment in schools as well, which falls under that. So that's another big issue. Um, so what I think about Chinese schools, I think we said what needed to be said already. The Chinese schools, they have a lot more rules. This teachers, I think they're a lot more efficient because I think, as Shannon said, that a lot of people there, they do pretty well in their exams, I think. So the teachers must be good if the students can do well. And from what I heard about Kuncheng, the environment is very good, very tip-top environment, which is why a lot of parents, they send their kids to Kuncheng. So I would say that the quality of teachers is better in Chinese independent schools. Yeah, that's what I think.
But honestly lah, our school got some cases like the teacher that call like touch what class of history, then need to change to another subject. We also got this problem. But it's not too big gap lah. Something like you just now say admits go to teach chemistry. It's a big gap lah, I think. But our school is got like Chinese teacher go to teach like chemistry, history. Not chemistry, it's like history, or geography, something like that. It's based on the textbook also one subject. Yeah, got this issue lah also. So, but Kunching have a good environment lah, honestly. Yeah, it's beautiful, but the people is very many, I think. Student is too like very. The environment is not cannot pull all the student in one hall lah, I think. It's crowded. Yeah, it's crowded, but I think it's like because now we got pandemic ma. So our school is already start like receive more student. Then our school is already cannot handle these students. If the pandemic is already over, the school I think will boom. Yeah, something like that lah. I think this is the issue lah. And now most of the parents, they will send their kids to Chinese independent school. So it will be very very quite to be like very competition. Will be like a very high demand to what will be a very strong competition between these students lah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I can hear some stuff from Shannon. What would you say are some negatives about Chinese independent schools?
I think I just say lah, it's competitive. This is very, very strong for us. Because we got a line, everyone need to hit the line, so you won't drop out from the school, something like that. And you need to follow the rules that school, you need to obey all the things, something like that lah. But already changed lah. We can, most of the thing we also like we got the rules like you cannot bring phone to school, but we also bring because we need it, so we will bring. But you just like need to keep it very well. Don't realize by your by teacher lah. After pandemic we can bring. Yeah. Because of the pandemic, so we need to like emergency call our family or our parents. So we already changed the rules lah, so we can take our film to school, something like that lah. Most of the thing already changed lah because the situation. Yeah.
I see. I agree. I mean, it's good like that they changed as well. But I think, okay,
Yeah.
I guess I'll give a perspective on the SMK schools. So here, as I said before, the teachers are a big issue. They change from admats to chemistry. This happened to my class also.
Yeah.
Not very good.
Oh.
Yeah, but I think another big issue with some schools, they don't really have the the complaint system that my school has, because some schools are very different, and some schools might be better than other SMK schools. And gangsterism is also a big issue in some SMK schools. I don't know if do you know about the mud rumpet issue in SMKs, like the Malays,
I'm
not
not
Malays
sure.
now, but the people that ride on the motorbikes.
Oh yeah, the motorbikes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know
that's a
it.
big issue. Yeah, so I think that can be classified under gangsterism. That's one of the bigger issues in SMKs that um unfortunately cannot be done, and nothing can be done about it, like, I guess. And a lot of people would sneak things like contraband, like e-cigarettes, vapes and cigarettes and all that into schools. So that's one of the bigger issues. um yeah, but I would say that despite that, the students that leave from SMKs, they tend to be a bit more proactive in certain like programs or events or whatever. Like, I would say they're in a more, because of the less strict environment, they tend to do things um more more proactively. So they tend to seek out more things. Like even for me, I don't like the rules, right? And the teachers don't enforce that much on us. So I tend to do a lot more
Mm.
things on my own, which I think is quite similar to how a lot of SMK students, a lot of SMK graduates, they like to do things. And because of I would say, um, the education system as well. Um, everything is, I would say it's quite politicized. I don't know if you read about this before, but let's take our STAR syllabus. It really depends on what government controls the education ministry or the education of the school, and that in
Yeah.
that way it's shaped according to what the party that controls the government wants to teach the students. So I think the syllabus can be made into propaganda also. So that's one of the bigger issues. But yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. I know, but I think now the government already got a little bit changed lah. I can feel that they will try to change this situation, but I think it's need time to change it, or to let to let it be better lah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chinese independent school, their education system is more be like they're more focused on the result of the exam. I think because they think that you will, because the good result will show it in like the like exam like SPM that compared to other SMK school lah. So this will be a very important result that our school they got the levels, they got their something like their level is already enough to lead all Chinese to get a more
I would say that in Chinese independent schools, the students that I would say are primarily Chinese, they can get to know each other better and be in an environment that is more familiar to them, which I guess is the point of vernacular schools or national type schools in the first place, because you get to be in an environment where um, it is the same race. And I think there is the conception among the parents, either the Chinese parents or the parents that send their kids to the Chinese independent schools, that they send their kids there with the assumption that the kids will be in an environment that has their quote unquote like people or their that is mostly consistent of their own race basically. So I guess from that stance, the students can be in an environment that they are more familiar with, not familiar, but rather um, number one, their parents are more familiar and comfortable with, and number two, um, I think that's it. Anything else I say will be like super racist, but that's what I think. I don't agree with it per se, but that's what I think.
But I think this also one of the like the stereotype lah. So most of people they will think like you will think it's a very racism punya issue lah, but I think it's like very normal because most of the most of them are things like that lah. I know that. It's okay, it's okay. Yeah. So we know, then we can discuss lah. I think this is a very good things. Yeah.
I would say, what is that to say for this one actually? What include allow more Malay students and more Indian students to come to Chinese independent schools? I don't know what to say honestly. Like, maybe you could have more. Maybe she would say that there should be more field trips or more exchange programs between the students from Chinese independent schools with students from SMK schools or international schools. Maybe it's something she would say. What's another thing? Actually, that's the only thing I would assume, I guess.
Yeah, I think this is a good idea lah, but got a little bit hard to do it lah. I think that Chinese independent school that brought positive impact on our country. I think this is the like a new ways to study because you know lah, Malaysia got SMK, we got international school, and I think Chinese independent school is a new way or new choices from them to choose for their kids they want to study, what kind of study they want to take for their kids, something like that. It's a new choices because I think other country they don't have like Chinese independent school or something similar to this lah. So I think this is a new choices for them. As well as I think SMK school also based on the school lah. It's like SMK school in Malaysia is very different, different rules, different ways to control all the things lah. I think it's based on the school. So I think that SMK school they will bring it's a way to unite these races because Malaysia got different kind of races. So we like if we go to the same school, we can know each other, their culture, their languages, then we can be like very friend lah to each other because you all know the government something always say something to try to less we hated each others because of the races. So I think SMK school will be the change something like to united all the races. I hope that this education system can be better by improving. So I think it's like SMK they will brought positive impact to our country. I think it's like because most of the SMK their syllabus or their rules is based on the government lah. So I think government need to improve to this lah. The Ministry of Education because their syllabus or their education and their teachers lah. Teachers also is a very important things for students. So I think teacher also is need to control by the government lah. So not all the people then can do teacher simply. They need to get a higher result in their exam or their performance lah, I think.
Yeah, I guess I do agree that the teachers need to be better. I guess we really covered this topic, haven't we? The teachers need to be improved, and I wouldn't say that the students. Actually, yeah, I would generally agree. Like the students sometimes they don't do that good because of the environment. That isn't very comparable to the Chinese independent schools because in Chinese independent schools, they're more exam focused, as Shannon said. So because of their environment of being more exam focused, they tend to prioritize exams. In SMK schools, that can be ignored by certain students, so they don't score as much. So I guess the environment needs to be improved. But I think it's also good to understand that school shouldn't just be about exams. It should also be about making friends. It should be about building your personality, finding your interests, especially your passions and what you want to do in the future. Because sometimes people go to school and they don't even know what they want to do for what their degree, for what they want to do for their job. So they should be able to find their passions and figure that out loud. Because at least for me, I like to treat everything I do like a stepping stone. So I do this one thing, what will I get from it? Will it improve me as a person, or am I just wasting my time basically? So it's also good to that the students should be raised to think that way as well. So on top of finding their passions and building their personalities, they should also you see, we have extracurricular activities as well, which I'm sure Chinese independent schools have. So they should definitely involve themselves in those kind of things. And not only that, in schools, maybe they want to involve themselves in things like that outside of school. So like NGOs or the youth organizations. So yeah, it's about it shouldn't just be about exams. That's what I would say. It should be about making friends, building a personality, finding your passions, and building yourself as a person, in my opinion. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, you are correct. I also think about it. Yeah, the personality I think is very important for you, all of us stuff, because most of the people I think the secondary school this period is very important for us, for everyone, because this is the process that we will build our minds, our personality, like just now say like that lah.
Hmm. Yep, I do agree.
I think after this conversation, like I think that my English is very worse. It's not good. But I think Kim is a person that got your own thinking lah. I think you're very kind independent people, because I'm very shocked that you have like participate the NGO. Yeah, isn't it? So I think you're the good people. What can I say? Yeah, very courage, very passion in everything. I'm not sure lah, but I think I learn more that I can learn more from you lah. I got some friends they in SMK they got different type of their rules, so I can know more lah. Be like Kim's school got like system of complaining something like that lah. I can know more. I think this is a thing that I can get from this conversation lah. I think it's comfortable, so comfortable from this conversation. I think I can get more information, and I feel like it's very something like this is the word lah, comfortable lah, very very happy. It's happy, yeah. I'm not sure that my friend can join at all, because most of them they don't like to talk to strangers, something like that. I'm not sure lah, but I can try to ask them lah. Okay.
I would say the conversation is amazing, honestly. If you want to have me again, I would be more than happy to come again to this program. I'm quite happy because I got to learn a lot of things that I previously did not really know about Chinese independent schools. Well, I do have a couple of friends in Chinese independent schools myself, but I've never really had a deep conversation about it last. So this is very new, and I'm very happy to expand my knowledge about Chinese independent schools. So yeah, and I can share my knowledge as well about from my experience as a student from an SMK school. I'm very happy to be here. You know what? I think we should meet up sometime and hang out and have a coffee. It'd be so cool. Just the four of us with Ming as well, and yeah, I think all of us we can have a coffee. We can go makan at kopitiam. But apart from that, then I don't really have much to say lah. We should have a coffee and makan sometime. Very glad to meet you. I think it's a good initiative. I think the key point I would say about this initiative is that it promotes conversation and dialogue. So as we know, these two things are very important to resolving issues and making solutions. So having this, it's very good to bring issues to light and talk about them very deep, and then come up with certain solutions to what the stakeholders can do to solve the issues. Like earlier, we were talking about how we want to have as much national integration in Chinese independent schools, and maybe the government or the Chinese independent schools could have exchange programs with different schools. So that's an issue, and that's a solution as well. So that is quite important, I would say. Yeah, I would definitely recommend my friends to come to this initiative and step out of their comfort zone and really talk about what they're passionate about. So yeah, and again, thank you for having me.
It is honored to have Kim and Shannon together with us tonight. Subscribe us and share to your friends if you think today's episode is great. Please follow tag on various social media too. You are very welcome to have a look on our official information page. We'll leave the links in the show notes. Just join the discussions with us in our Discord community. You can participate in this open podcast. We are looking forward to do these projects with you. Thank you for your time. Hope you gain something here and see you in the next episodes.